Hello everybody, Sorbeaten here and welcome back to another past paper practice video. In this video I will be tackling some multiple choice type questions on consumer arithmetic. So let's head straight into the first question. So this question says, a company employs 12 gardeners at $26 per day and 8 clerks at $17 per day. What is the mean daily wage in dollars of the 20 employees? So we see the total amount of money worked by the 12 gardeners would be 12 multiplied by this 26. So 26 multiplied by 12, it should be 0. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 2 is 4, and 1, 5. So we know this would be 2 and 0 would be 2, 6 and 5 would be 11, so we put a 1 there, and 1 plus 2 would be 3. So the total wage for the 12 gardeners would be $312, and the total wage for the clerks, for the 8 clerks, would be 17 multiplied by 8, which would be 8 times 7 would be 56. So we put a 6 in there. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 5 would be 136. So we see the total money for the 20 employees would be 312 plus 136. So this would be 6 and 2 is 8, 3 and 1 is 4, 3 and 1 is 4. $448. So the mean wage, the mean daily wage, so we divide this 448 by 20. So this will give us the mean wage of the 20 employees. 20 can go into 4, 20 can go into 44 2 times. 20 times 4 would be 40. We subtract that, we'll have 4. And we bring down the 8. So 20 can go into 48 2 times again. 20 times 2 is 40. And we bring down 48, subtract 8 would be 8. So 20 can go into 8. So we add a point here and we add a 0. So 20 can go into 80 4 times. 20 times 4 is 80. So this would be 0. So the mean wage would be $22.40, or $22.4, which is the same as $22.40, which is C. And so that is the answer for that question. So the next question says, a dress costs $180 is being sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount is, so they want the amount of the discount. You don't want the amount after the discount or the cost for the dress after the discount. They want the amount of discount. So you find 10% of 180, so this is 10 over 100 multiplied by 180. So this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 1 times 18 would be 18. So the discount, the amount of discount is $18, which is simply C, $18. So this one says, a man bought a mobile phone for $800 and sold it for $1,000. What was his profit as a percentage of the cost price? So the cost price here is $800. So let's find how much profit was made. So he bought it for $800 and sold it for $1,000. So 1,000 subtract 800 would simply be 200. So this is the profit that was made. So they want the profit as a percentage of the cost price. So it's 200 over the cost price, which is $800. And we multiply this by 100 to find the percentage. So this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 8 ones 8. 8 can go into 225 times. So 25 times 1 would be 25. So the profit as a percentage would be 25%. So it's 25% would be the profit. So the next question says, a man's basic wage for a 40-hour week is $160. He is paid $5 per hour for overtime. If he works 6.5 hours overtime in a certain week, his wage for that week would be, so the man's basic wage is for a 40-hour week is $160, and he's paid $5 overtime. So we see that he works 6.5 hours overtime, so this would be 6.5 is the same as 6.5 multiplied by 5. So we can move this to the end. We'll have 65 multiplied by 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. So we put that 5 in there. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 plus 2 would be 32. So 32, so we move the point back in. So this would be 32.5. This is the amount of money he will make over time. So we know it's 160 plus 32.5b. So we can add the 5 in here, bring down the point. 2 and 0 is 2, 3 and 6 would be 9, and we bring down the 1. 192.5. So that would be his wage for the week, which is simply D. So the next question says, a salesman sells a car for $10,500. If he is paid a commission of 5% for the first $10,000 and 8% for the remainder, then his total commission he receives is, so we see he sells a car for $10,500 and he's paid 5% for the first $10,000. So let's find 5% of 10,000. So 5 over 100 multiplied by 10,000. So this 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 5 times 100 would be 500. So this is the amount of money he will make for the first 10,000. And then we see that he's paid 8% for the remainder. So we see for the remainder, we have 10,000 subtract 10,500, we have a remainder of 500. So it's 8% of 500, so it's 8 over 100 multiplied by 500. This 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 8 times 5 is 40. So this is the amount of commission he will make for the remainder of the 10,500. So the total commission he will receive will be 500 plus 40, which would be 5,040, which is simply B as the answer. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video in which I tackled some multiple choice type questions on consumer arithmetic. And I trust that the concepts brought out in these videos assisted you in having a better understanding of these kind of questions. And I want you to use this understanding to continue practicing more questions. So keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video in which I'll be tackling some more questions.